Ontario Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie is in Thunder Bay, promising a family doctor for everyone in the province. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It's the first visit to Thunder Bay by a party leader during this provincial election campaign. Crombie was at Confederation College this morning alongside her local Liberal candidates, and that's where she announced a major part of her campaign platform, pledging that everyone in Ontario will have a family doctor within 4 years. Jessica Clement reports.
Do you know that there are 28,000 people here in the Thunder Bay area that don't have access to a family doctor? That's absurd, and that has to change.
Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie made improving health care a main focus of her visit to Thunder Bay. She was at Confederation College Friday morning with local Liberal candidates Stephen Marguerite and Brian Hamilton, touring the school's health facilities and speaking with local nursing students. Crombie says there's an urgent need to recruit and retain doctors in the north and pledged that everyone in the province will have a family doctor within 4 years.
We're going to open up more spaces here at NOSM at Lakehead University to ensure we can get more medical students here. And we're going to bring more foreign-trained doctors through the program and we'll increase residency spaces and get them through the mentorship program called the Practice Ready Ontario.
Crombie noted that people in Northern Ontario have unique needs and reiterated a promise she made to party supporters on Thursday night, which was free medical school for students who commit to working in the north.
We're going to iron out all those details in the months to come, but we'll look at which communities are underserved, and those will be the communities where there will be those multi-year service agreement in exchange for that tuition.
Crombie also commented on the closure of safe consumption sites in Ontario.
Of course, they have to be located in the right locations. We don't want them near our schools or daycare centers or sensitive use, but we have to follow the science, follow the data, and follow the evidence. And if they are making an impact on people's lives, then of course they should stay open.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Elsewhere on the campaign trail, NDP leader Marit Stiles is also focused on health care today, pledging to hire 3,500 new doctors. And Doug Ford's plan to build a tunnel to move traffic under a major highway is now officially a campaign promise. But as CTV's Siobhan Morris tells us, he hasn't provided any financial details.
It was an idea first explored in the fall, a tunnel under Canada's busiest highway to carry cars and transit riders. Now it's a campaign promise.
A re-elected PC government will move forward with the largest infrastructure project in Ontario's history, Canadian history, and in North America.
A tunnel running under the 401 from Brampton past Markham, a gargantuan project still being studied by the Ministry of Transportation with no timeline or ballpark price tag attached.
Well, I'll tell you what it costs. It costs us $56 billion every single year in lost productivity.
Ford blows off a suggestion rushing forward without an estimate is irresponsible. Other party leaders call Ford's pledge a fantasy, insulting in the face of other challenges. The Liberal leader in Thunder Bay, where 28,000 people don't have a doctor.
That's absurd, and that has to change.
Emphasizing a $3 billion commitment to connect Ontarians to primary care with a focus on the north.
We're going to open up more spaces here at NOSM at Lakehead University to ensure we can get more medical students here. And we're going to bring more foreign-trained doctors through the program.
In Sault Ste. Marie, Marit Stiles promised $4 billion over 4 years to help with primary care. That would start with 100 days of action.
Like fast-tracking the applications for new family health teams and also cutting the wait times with a central referral system. That'll make it easier to see a specialist.
Acknowledging northern communities struggle with travel for care and keeping ERs open.
We're going to set up a northern command center to coordinate the response to that.
Returning to Parry Sound, Muskoka, the Green Party leader promises to help people struggling to cover basics or save for something special.
We will cut income taxes for individuals earning under $65,000 a year and families earning under $100,000 a year.
In a campaign Doug Ford has tried to frame as protecting Ontario from American tariffs, he's frustrated the feds haven't yet named a fentanyl czar, as the Prime Minister said Monday he'd commit to do.
Listen to the customer. The customer is the Trump administration, our largest trading partner in the world. If he's saying this is a serious crisis, let's show him. Don't talk. I'm sick and tired of politicians talking.
Ford is heading to Washington next week to meet with U.S. lawmakers with another trip planned later this month.
That was CTV's Siobhan Morris reporting. Well, the fired police chief of the Nishnawbe-Aski Police Service, has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the force, alleging wrongful dismissal and breach of trust. Roland Morrison was appointed NAP's chief in April of 2019, but the board suspended him in March of last year amid allegations of misconduct. An internal investigation concluded about 6 months later, and Morrison's termination was announced in November. The statement of claim was filed by Morrison's lawyers in early January. The lawsuit seeks $1.8 million in lost salary, along with lost benefits and pension contributions. It also calls for NAPS to pay another $700,000 in personal, moral, and punitive damages. The NAPS board issued a media release this week saying it plans to fully defend itself against the claims. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Thunder Bay area residents with less serious illnesses like a cold are being advised by the Regional Health Sciences Centre to avoid the ER as the emergency department continues to experience a high volume of patients. A Facebook post by the regional hospital urges people with minor ailments to look at other healthcare alternatives. The post adds that calling an ambulance won't get patients faster attention once they're at the hospital. Vice President of Patient Experience Adam Vanette notes with the influx of respiratory illnesses, the facility saw 800 more patients last month. That's led to a full waiting room on occasion and longer wait times. He's asking those who do visit the hospital to be patient with staff.
Every day is different, but as we have increase in patients and volumes that come through the emergency department, we always look after the patients that are sickest first, and they get treatment first, and the less urgent patients sometimes have a longer wait. We want the community to be aware of the other options available to them, their primary care physicians, urgent care clinics, and what to expect when they come into the emergency department.
Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper has announced the appointment of a new executive to its leadership team. Bill McPherson has been named CEO of the local operation and will work alongside company president Kent Ramsey. McPherson comes to the city with 35 years' experience in the pulp and paper industry, most recently as a vice president with Graphic Packaging International. The local mill has operated under various names for over a century, producing craft pulp and newsprint. Atlas Holdings bought it from Resolute Forest Products in 2023 and renamed it Thunder Bay Pulp and Paper. McPherson says he's honored to join the company and help solidify the mill as a trusted employer, a reliable producer, and a pillar of Thunder Bay. Ramsey says he looks forward to working with McPherson to strengthen the mill as it begins a second century of operations. Lakehead University officials presented their latest report to the community this morning. It was the first in-person event since the start of the pandemic and was also the first for new university president Jillian Siddall. Justin Hardy has the story.
Today, you will hear from some of the individuals at Lakehead University who are leading the kind of work that is gaining international recognition.
The theme of this year's report was Connecting Communities, Unlocking Potential. Local leaders, along with representatives of organizations from throughout the region, were in attendance to find out what the university has been up to over the last year. Along with challenges like changes to international student caps, University President Jillian Siddall says LU has had much to celebrate as well, like bringing a new veterinary program to Northwestern Ontario.
Students will do their first 2 years on the Thunder Bay campus and then years 3 and 4 in Guelph. And all students for this program, it's 20 students per year, will be recruited from the north for the north. So it will address what we all know is a real gap in veterinarians in Northern Ontario.
In keeping with the theme of connection, the university hosted a live interview with some of Lakehead's researchers. Event guests were also given the opportunity to ask questions and learn more about the research. PhD candidate and coordinator of Lake Superior Living Labs Network, Rachel Portinga, says it was a great way to connect with the region that they don't normally get.
We do have a website and we have a newsletter that people can join, but often you don't get to talk to people directly about it unless it's in our own events sometimes. So yeah, it's nice to branch out beyond our webinars and our newsletters to speak to people.
people.
Yeah. We couldn't do the work we do without community. It's the research is really dependent on the relationships we're building and finding ways to learn from the people here.
The full report to the community can be viewed on the website lakeheadu.ca. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
A Thunder Bay-owned hardware store is taking steps to promote its Canadian-made products. U.S. President Donald Trump's threat of heavy tariffs have been temporarily averted, but the backlash from Canadian shoppers is prompting many stores like Memorial Home Hardware to highlight their made-in-Canada items. Brendan Miller has more.
Here at Memorial Home Hardware, the feeling is one of national pride compared to contempt for the president to the south. Since the tariffs were announced, the team at the store has been working to ensure Canadian-made products are prominently displayed with the maple leaf or Canadian flag sticker. Dealer owner Chris Sauer says they had made 500 stickers and tags to put on the various products, but they promptly ran out, given the high demand for those products right now.
For the first time, people really are looking at where a product is made. We have customers come in, and that's the first question they ask, not the last question. I have had customers pick up a product, and if it wasn't made in Canada, they put it back on the shelf and pick up a Canadian-made product.
Sauer explains some of their products' origins in Canada, including many items manufactured in our province.
Home Hardware is the only major retailer that owns our own paint and chemical factory. We manufacture all of our beauty tone paints in Burford, Ontario. And in addition, they do all of our exterior stains. Our wood shield stains are manufactured in Burford, Ontario. Our home essential cleaning products are manufactured at that same plant, along with our home builder caulkings.
The complete impact of these tariffs won't be felt until they're actually imposed, and there are some differing opinions among home hardware customers when it comes to this topic.
As far as the tariffs are concerned, I have no problem with that because I think we've been, U.S. in the past have been taken for granted and as Trump says, ripped off.
I'm totally against that. I feel that it's unfair, and for the new president to dictate the tariffs against our nation, and I think it's attacking our nation. We've been good to Americans.
With the 30-day delay of the tariffs, Canadians will soon be bracing again for what is likely to be a major hit to our national economy. Nevertheless, buying Canadian is never a bad idea. Brendan Miller, TBT News.
Yeah, it's certainly a renewed focus for a lot of people now. All right, let's turn our attention to the weather now. And Fiona, we had those heavy winds yesterday. Snow was blowing all over the place. That wind has died down a bit today, though.
It has died down. I will note, though, it was Canadian made, so you can't complain too much. Temperature-wise, really didn't fluctuate all that much between yesterday and today. Once again, a daytime high of -7, early morning low of -12. The one difference is instead of temperatures dropping through the day, it warmed up through the day. But the winds were relatively light compared to yesterday, 19 to 35 kilometers per hour from the west. And if we take a look at what is happening across the region, now we weren't expecting a lot of snow through northwestern Ontario today, and although it looks like it, there wasn't a lot. Now, we did have light snow up to the north into Red Lake, all the way through Armstrong, Greenstone, and along the eastern shores of Lake Superior. However, it was very, very light snow. The only difference is that it was consistently occurring for much of the day. So not a lot of accumulation, but it was there. Temperature-wise, well, between the overnight low and the daytime high, there was only a difference of about 2 degrees. Not much movement in temperatures. It was only in Fort Frances that they ranged from -15 to -11, so 4 degrees difference, but not a lot of movement. Along the eastern shores, they did manage to hit the single digits, Marathon -8, -9, -8 in Wawa, and -6 in Sault Ste. Marie, with continually drifting snow. They are once again concerned with snow squalls for this evening, but all of that is continuing to calm down as the winds taper off across the region. Right now, Well, temperature-wise, we're pretty close together, -11, -12. Wind chills are ranging about -17, -18. And of course, the one outlier along the eastern shores, they're seeing wind chills at this hour of about -14 to -15. And so that's a big difference because of the winds in that part of the region. Tonight, City of Thunder Bay will drop down to a low of -19, so it's going to be quite a bit cooler, wind chills of -24, and part of that is because skies are going to be clearing, so nothing to hold in any of the heat that we did accumulate during the day to those seasonal -7s. But as we head into the weekend, expect slightly cooler than normal temperatures, but at least sunny during the day. However, the wind chills will still make it feel at least 5 or 6 degrees colder than the temperatures outside. So even though temperature-wise we're not doing too bad, it is going to feel a little cooler. And unfortunately, next week, it's going to be even colder. Temperatures are going to take a dip. People keep asking me, when is this going to end? Is it going to get warmer? And I say, yes, in the springtime. According to Marmot Mike, our station's resident groundhog, marmot, or whatever you want to call him, we've still got some winter to get through, so people are just going to have to be patient.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it seems we've been spoiled over the past couple of winters, not
Yes.
really a true Canadian winter, and we may be experiencing that again, Fiona.
I think so.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, after the break, you guessed it, we're going to talk more about the tariff threat coming from the U.S. and Donald Trump's seemingly constant musings about annexing Canada. The Prime Minister today saying Trump is serious about that, and there was a major summit in Toronto today. We'll have the details when we return.
We are in a moment that we have to meet for Canadians.